Hello, and welcome to Let's Get Into It. This is Timiko
and Rhonda.
And today we're going to get into it with
teachers.
Laugh a little, learn a lot, say what you feel, give it your shot. From small talk sparks to deep dives in good conversations. Let's begin. Let's get into it.
Okay, we are here on our second episode of Let's Get Into It with Timiko and Rhonda.
Oh, I don't know.
She's an official co-host.
She's been promoted.
Only the best employees get promoted.
I'm so excited.
This is very exciting. I am so happy because she knows it all.
Yes.
And I know nothing. So we're going to try and balance this out here.
Yeah.
So today I would like to discuss with you all, me and Rhonda would like to discuss with you all about building culture and relationships, specifically at school sites, with students, what that looks like, with staff, what that looks like, and with parents. We may not get into all of it, but whatever has the most horror stories, I then like to stay in that area.
Perfect. Yeah.
So, as you all know, I'm going into education because I come from a house of learned doctors here, curriculum and instruction. And this is all going to be brand new to me. My kids go to school, but I'm not there. So I'm trying to prepare myself and maybe other little itsy baby teachers for what's to come and what to prepare for a little bit. But before we start, just so that everyone knows within our millions of listeners, who are you? So if you could just give me some of your, and I will start in 1984. Right now.
That is a wonderful year.
Thank you. Also, high five. We'll start at birth. And if you give a brief history up until now. But January 9th, 1984. Just graduated last week.
Yay!
Yay! And so that's all I have. Experience. That's all the experience I have. I know nothing. So, Rhonda, if you can reintroduce yourself to the people.
Absolutely. So I'm Rhonda. I have been teaching in Sanger Unified, or worked in Sanger Unified, for 30 years. This is my 30th year. 24 years as a teacher, English teacher at Sanger High. And specifically, your teacher.
Yes.
2000.
That's important to
that it is important.
We have
history.
Relationship.
You've met.
Wow.
Okay, I don't know. We might.
This is what the people want to hear.
That's right. Anyway, so yes, 24 years at Sanger High. And then the last 7 years in curriculum and instruction as a DIS.
Perfect.
That's right. I am Katie. I do want to, just because of the 1984 connection. So
there's connections everywhere.
I am a transplant from the Bay Area, but I came to Fresno State and then stayed. Sanger Unified is the first public school district. I went to Catholic schools.
Baudry, go ahead.
Oh.
Yes. But I started in 2007 in Sanger Unified. I taught in elementary school, 4th grade and 3rd grade, 2 different schools, and then was a site coach, our curriculum support providers in Sanger Unified. I was a site coach for a mere 2 years, and that was right when the district instructional coaches were happening. And so I moved with the intent to focus mostly on technology as we were getting iPads and other technology tools. And then as that kind of shifted, different topics became areas of expertise or help that I focused on. I did that for 7 years, I think. And then the last 4 or 5 have been on the data and assessment side.
Full title, please.
Coordinator of data and assessment.
Okay, let's get your specs on that name.
Yes, thanks. Put it.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's see. I think so. I'm 1 year ahead of you. I think so. Yeah. So I started in 2006, right after I graduated. I'm not a 1984, but I'm pretty close. I want to be right there too. I want to be part of the group. You stick with us. It's fine. It's pretend. They're not going to. And I did teach fourth grade too.
Oh,
So we were part of the same PLC.
nice.
And then after teaching, I went to be a coach for a year, but at a different school. And then I was a vice principal at the middle school. And then I did 9 years as an elementary principal. And then I'm finishing my 3rd year as a program coordinator. And I decided to go back and be an elementary school principal.
Because you're not crazy.
Yeah. I like chaos.
I like a little bit.
I like lots of stuff happening at the same time.
Awesome.
And having to wear flats.
Yay.
I don't like flats.
So I will say what is interesting to me about this subject of culture, relationships, and all that jazz is because from my own experience of working at the court, I was there for 15 years, and that experience or the way they taught us was, or trained us, not trained, we were trained robots, it was very sterile. It was very clinical. It was very, everyone is a number. And that was very specifically like trained into us because they wanted it to be, we're a government agency.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to be the same across the board. If you know someone, do not help them. If someone is someone, they're all the same. Everybody's the same, which is fine. That was fine. But it did, you know, when you help the public, it was just very, very impersonal. But because they wanted everything equal, fair, which it's all right. So that was my experience. And then when I came to Singer Unified, quite different. It was quite different. So really when I noticed the change is when I went to work at Sanger High in the library, and it was, so I was like, child, number 1273778, ID number, please come here so I can help you. It was not that. It was very much encouraged that we talk to the kids, develop relationships, know names. I was horrified. I was like, hold on a second. I have to talk to the children? I don't understand. But so that was a very different experience for me because it just, I came from a completely different environment of like, you do not engage with anyone. And it was then now the opposite of, no, you have to. So it was this whole different idea of like, even though you're on campus of thousands of kids, like this is your little part of it, our space, the library. And like, what are you creating when these kids walk in the door? You want them to feel safe. You want them to feel welcome. You want them to feel whatever, you know, all those things, positive things. And that, you know, before it was like, we don't care. Get them in and out as quickly as possible and take their money and like, boom, you're done.
Yeah.
So for me, that was a total shift and change. And so I had to get used to this new perspective and idea of building culture, something I had never really heard about, learned about. It just, you know, when I was at the court, you had your relationships with people, you have friends, but that wasn't like, you know, part of the, it was like that just happened. Great, but good for you. But you're just here, you do your job, you go home. And so I feel like especially at school sites, it's quite different. And it's like your own little kingdom, your own little family, your own little work family. And so I guess my question is, what were things that worked for you that helped build a positive culture, or did you have an experience where it wasn't great, things that didn't help, or things that did help? The floor is yours, ladies.
Where to begin?
Yeah.
It's just okay. If you could just tell me everything, real quick,
Unload
just
the
unload
brain.
real quick the brain, and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's all. Easy. Yeah.
I think I would flip the question on you.
Oh, that's
And
why
I would
she's the
say,
co-host.
yeah, you gave me the authority you're going to regret. So let it be written. So let it be done. But what I want to know is when you were talking about how the shift from the court to the library. So what did you find when you established those relationships with your clientele, which were students at the high school?
So when I first got there, okay. So here's what. Let's get into it. So I was first horrified with the breaks and lunches.
That's enough said. And valid.
Because we have
Yeah.
we had a kissing corner.
Oh, okay. Those books, man.
I christened it that, and in my mind, because we would have to do we were the sentinels, if you will.
Yeah.
We had to go out
Patrol.
and do patrol.
Absolutely.
Every so often we had to patrol because there was corners.
Oh, goodness.
And so we had to go and make sure, hey, hands, I want to see
Make sure I
hands.
can see them. Yeah.
And I would jingle my key.
Oh,
let him know. Here I am. Please, God, don't be doing anything. So that was super fun. So that was like my first experience in that. So it was something. So, but where I found that I was able, and then at the time the librarian was Sarah, and wonderful, and so she was always encouraging us to talk to the children, which I'm just like, I'm just gonna cold call these kids. Hi, are those Pokemon cards? It was hard. That was hard to just like go up
For
and start.
you to talk to people?
Listen, I know I make it look easy.
You do.
It is not. It was hard at the beginning because it's so awkward.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, you feel like a weirdo.
Hello, you.
Yes. Hello, youths.
Did you feel like a high schooler again? Like
I didn't know. I didn't feel like a high
That's how I
schooler.
would feel.
No, I felt very much like an adult.
Oh, good for
Very
you.
much like an adult. Like, and why are you talking to us?
Yeah.
So it was weird. Oh,
Yeah, and I was like, first of all, I'm the fun uncle.
yeah.
Let's get that straight. So, but what I found is that when I did build relationships, or the ones I built relationships with were the teachers' assistants or the aides. So they was seniors, so that helped too because they were a little older, a little bit more mature. They were seniors, and they were small groups, and I worked with them a lot. For whatever reason, I just happened to be like the one that Sarah would be like, hey, can you have them do this and help them
Teach them the Dewey Decimal System.
Yes. So it was like, children, follow me. And they were like, okay. So I made 2 friends.
Oh,
And it was so cute. Jose and Samantha. And I said, you can follow me on Instagram when you turn 18 and you graduate. And they both did.
oh,
We're still friends. But it was so like, I was like, okay, I'm doing it. This is happening. I'm building my own relationship because they like, you find the ones, you find your people. But they got me. I don't know. Because some people don't, some people do. So they were like, okay, you're kind of cool. But before, when they would come in, like go put their stuff down and then they go sit or go stand by my desk and just tell me all about their day and what was going on and what happened with their boyfriend and all that and spill the tea. And I was like, oh, all up. You shouldn't be doing that. Don't be doing this. La la la. And they're just like, yeah, yes, no, yes, miss,
Miss. Yeah,
miss.
that's the favorite
Yes,
thing.
miss.
That's the
Yes,
the preferred
the
title.
preferred title
Because they can't mess it up.
No. So it was when it did happen, because I think for me, what I didn't enjoy was forcing.
Yeah.
I felt like I was forcing something with kids or whatever, you know, when you're just out there like patrolling. But when it happened organically, it was great. And it worked. It worked. And it was much more natural. And like it was just like a natural, like any other friendship relationship, except it's, you know, you have clear boundaries, obviously, with kids, but it was neat. It was cool. I was like, okay, I can do this. But I guess like how was that experience? Do you guys feel like you had to force some things, or it kind of just you kind of go with the flow when you're building relationships with people? Or
I think just to, I guess, piggyback on that,
yes,
the whole people in general, I too am very close and fine to talk to the people that I am comfortable with, but I don't want to have to make new friends. I don't want to, whether it's
built.
yeah, yes, exactly. Now with my class, that was different because they were mine, but I don't want to have to go talk to people that I don't already know.
Okay, so then we could narrow this down even further. How did you build your relationships in your classrooms or culture, or what did you want your classroom
Because
to
I
look
think
like?
there's like an authenticity to the ones that I wanted to develop organically. So anytime I am in a position where I am feeling there is a forced connection being made and it comes across as disingenuous, whether that is trying to build culture with parents, other staff members, or my students, I just like, as long as there was some authenticity to it and some like a genuine, I want to know you for you, whether that was with my students or with their parents or whatever, then it felt okay. So when you first got in there, having it feel like it had to happen and there was some level of, I guess, encouragement in a good way, but also felt a little forced. Well, yeah, it's not gonna land with the students either. You're gonna come across as
Well, I think
not
kids can
really
sniff
deep.
you out.
Yeah. They can smell it.
They smell through the dud.
And I can too, to kind of add to that, and this is not maybe, I don't know, fair, but based on my experience, teaching isn't for everybody. Education isn't for everybody. And I spent a lot of years as like a support provider and mentor for teachers. And one of the questions I remember having a lot of difficulty answering is, how do you connect with kids? And I struggled with that question because I was like, what do you mean? How do you connect with kids? How do you connect with kids? And the more I thought about it, I realized that it changed over time, right? So when I started, I was a super young teacher. I was 22. I was teaching like 17-year-olds. And it was like
really hard.
It was hard. And I was told, do not wear jeans. Do not
like clear division.
Like very clear division. Do not let them, and it was funny. But it was very relatable because it was like a 5-year age gap between me and some of my students. That changed later. And in my last couple of years, I mean, more than probably even my last couple of years, totally the mom vibe. And I was called mom and I was, but I entirely agree that in your classroom, you develop authentic relationships with kids because you have a genuine concern for them. And they can see that. And so I think when they can see that and feel that, that's the establishment of culture. And the foundation before anything else,
Yeah.
And so that's why it was such a hard question to answer, because I feel like it is that interpersonal communication. There has to be an authentic desire for, what's the outcome? Obviously, I'm your teacher. I want you to learn, but I want you to feel comfortable and safe. I want you to remember what we do here, what we talk about. all of those things. And that's something hard to teach people to do, you know?
Mm-hmm. And also, I think a lot of times people remember how you treated them more than what you taught them, and
Or how you treated other people.
or how you treated other people.
Oh, yeah, they
And
watch.
you know, you want school to be like a safe space or a place where, as Rudy would say, you want to create lifelong learners. So it's, you know,
Whoa. Yeah. That's a tag word. Yeah. I think.
I've learned some terms here
You're in the right building.
in my tenure here. But, you know, where it's not, oh, school sucks.
Yeah.
I hate it here. I don't feel great. And nobody, I don't like anyone.
Yeah.
But, you know, I feel like I remember the teachers that okay, this is fine. Even in subjects I didn't like.
Yeah.
It's like,
Which is even more crucial, right?
Ew.
Yeah. Everybody's favorite isn't reading.
Math sucks.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Do your best.
And at the school level, Christina, what would you say? How would you say? Because you've been a principal.
Yeah. Like building relationship with the
Well, or
little,
culture with,
or-
I mean, like, I think it's important to talk about teacher to teacher relationship too, because like we're a
This
district
is very
where,
broad, right?
I mean,
So
well, I mean,
when
either
you're-
or,
yeah, when
I
you're
think,
down.
I mean, I think
Teacher to
school wide, it's the same thing, right? Your kids know that you genuinely care about them. You know their names. I mean, I'm impressed always when I walk onto an elementary campus. Because I come from secondary land, and at Sanger High, at the peak, I think there were like over 3,200 kids on campus. Like it was huge. And so in a regular year, I'd have over 150 kids. And it was always my goal to know everybody's name, right? First day or second day. But like to go onto an elementary campus and to hear the principal and the support staff knowing everybody's name. I mean, it's so cool, I think, you know, but it's so important.
You always learn the.
Well, there's some names you learn the first day, and that's always the thing, right?
Which is like also I've seen something, I don't remember what, and it was probably TikTok, but it was someone saying, I think it was a student, and she was talking about her days back in school, and it was like, or no, I think she was a student in high school. And she was just kind of complaining or going on a little rant of just, I'm not a bad kid, but I'm not like doing all these things. And no one notices me. No one cares. You get noticed if you're great or if you're terrible.
Yep.
But those kids in the middle get kind of a wash, I guess, or lost. And that too, I guess it's just making sure that at least the kids in your proximity, no matter what, you know them, they feel seen. I think that's the goal for me anyway.
Yeah.
Going into a classroom is I just want my kids to like, you're mine. You belong to by their chongo. But, you know, I mean, at a school site, that's hard. I think being a principal, wanting to, like, it's just like,
All the levels.
much.
You have all the levels. You know what I mean?
It's a little overwhelming. Because a teacher in a classroom, that's different, right? You just have this little world. At a principal, principal level, CSP level, you guys are, is the correct term overlord? Queen?
Royalty.
Oh, okay. Yes, we can go there.
I think it's the same thing when you have, if you think about the classroom and like kind of what Katie was saying, her words were like, these are my kids, right? And when you have that belief, then the my kids just extends. And I would say it's the same thing when you're like a site leader, your kids now, it's a law and your staff. But you have that possessive nature to, not in a bad way, but like these people belong to you. They're in your care. So you want to make sure everybody is taken care of. Because I think you have to break down like authenticity. Like, what does that really mean? And what does it look like? How is it that kids and other adults can tell when people are being authentic versus not authentic, right? Because not being authentic
doesn't mean you're like fake. It just sometimes what I see is people sometimes get very caught up in their own head and their own needs instead of like what's in front of you. Right. And I see that often with teachers who sometimes may struggle with like classroom management is because they're so concerned about their.
Listen to episode 1.
Yeah.
It's a little plug there.
Go back.
Listen, if you're starting here, no. Start number 1, episode 1.
But that's what it is. It's because I see often that people are so caught up in their head about what they need to do with the kids in front of them instead of what do the kids need from me right now. It's the same with relationships. When you're building relationships, you have to notice what's in front of me. What do these little students, people, grown-ups need before you get to your, like what you need to get out of them, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. I think too, like you see the evolution of leaders, and it was making me think, because like I know all of you, and you think what makes people successful at building culture, what makes them strong leaders, and it really is that willingness to put myself to the side and look and think about what do other people need and get to the root of understanding people. And I think of you, Katie, and like working with the data and tech department is a different group than working with teachers.
Yes.
And you know, I think it takes a while to get to work with it because but at the high school, I know that every department is different, right? You've got the science department, you've got it's like everybody's quirky in different ways.
Nerds.
And the same thing about probably, right? But probably the different groups of people at schools. For sure they're different. Different. I mean,
theater kids.
Yes, groups. But like you have to meet that group where they are. So whether it's like classified staff, whether it's a new department that you're working with, I think of professional development, professional training days, and how to address like the different groups of people. And one of the things that I think is so important is like I try to look at everything. It's not different from a classroom, but you approach what are they thinking and what barriers are they facing. So like where are they going to be? How are they going to receive this information? Where are they going to push back? And I try to anticipate that and empathize with it as much as I can and have answers for what I can. But it's really just about honesty. And that's where like that authenticity comes in, is like, you know, like you just.
Well, and then just also, if you don't know something, being honest about that.
You can't know everything.
No, just like, well, I'll help you. I don't know. So let's figure it out. I think people are like, okay, cool. Because I can't, strong language, some advice. Hate. But it's the thing of like when you ask someone a question and it's just, you're just talking.
Yeah.
You're not giving me any answer. You don't know. I know you don't know. I know that you don't know. But we're just going to sit here and pretend. Pretend. Like that's so, Lord.
Yeah. It is super weird.
And then you just walk away like, I will just figure this out. Because
well, and not only that, but then they don't believe anything you say after that.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's
you're
straight
unreliable.
Up and I mean, in any circumstance, I think you can be mad today about something that happened 12 days ago.
Let's talk about husbands.
I was thinking.
Amen.
That's tomorrow's
I'm so
time.
but
Gosh,
I am so pressure.
Episode 3. Yeah.
Yoy.
But I think that happens. And so like it can happen in the classroom. It can happen at, neighbor to neighbor in the, at the school. It can happen at a school level. So that's why it's like the authenticity piece is so important when you're building culture.
I think into what you allow, what you don't allow, and what you encourage and don't encourage. So we just had a meeting today with our staff, and some of the teachers said, I think, pretty vulnerable things. And in the moment, you have to acknowledge it, right? Because when you're so caught up in your head, that may not have fit the narrative that you were trying to get through, and you just overpass it. But then you're sending a message to that person or that team of those are not the things I want in a meeting, right? It's like a lot of the unspoken things. And so to be able to stop and say, oh, like, I really appreciate that you said that's something you have a hard time with and you need help. And to say that openly in a meeting, then that opens the door for other people to, right? Whenever they're having a hard time. And it means there's alignment between the things that you say as a leader, but then now I'm seeing it modeled. Same thing as when you're a teacher, right? You tell kids, be honest, own up to things. And so that when they do make a mistake, because they will, they're kids, and they are like, yeah, I did make the mistake. I did. And you say, okay, well, thank you for letting me. And you're much easier on the consequences. Then they kind of go, okay, they do mean what they say. And I'm seeing it in action. And there's that alignment between what I say and what I do. And I think people just appreciate that in general.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think even people that...
Any time in life.
Yeah.
Right?
And even the rules apply to everyone and yourself included. So
Yes, that's true.
when you're a teacher and you make a mistake in the middle of the math, like just, oh my gosh, guys, I just made a silly mistake. And what happens when we make a mistake and that's okay. And if you don't know a thing, because I can BS with the best of them, but I also know like when is a time when I just need to come across as I can say enough true that it will pass this and then I can go a little further, or the being slightly more honest and just, okay, that's not a thing I know. I can promise you these things and I will research and come back. So not like faking it, but also, acknowledging the vulnerabilities or the shortcomings. Your staff probably can do that in a meeting because you yourself have shown that that's an okay thing to do. So it's a safe spot, not only for them to open the door for either feedback or to share things that they are not questioning about themselves, but need support on because you have probably done similar things.
Honesty and humor. I have a horror story.
Yes.
So
Well,
we all came back. It's not really like the worst of the worst horror stories, but it was sophomore English, which is the toughest, I would say.
Really?
Oh, sophomores. Oh my gosh.
The worst.
Yeah.
I'll agree.
It's because they don't know where they are yet. They're figuring it out. They're not like the babies and they're not, over it. They're just figuring it out. Like that. Yeah. So I was teaching World Lit sophomores and we were doing mythology. And I talked for probably a week and used the term Orion multiple times before a kid said, Miss, isn't it Orion? Yes, it is. Yes, you're right. Oh, yeah. I did the thing where it's like, I was waiting for somebody to catch you guys. They totally is like, right? But it's horrible because like you're the teacher, you're supposed to know everything. But I think that in any capacity and any level, when you can laugh at yourself and say, because like in doing professional development or training, there's going to be one mess up. You're going to forget something on a slide. Something is not going to work. You have to appear real. You're not like just that, and you just have to be honest about it. So whether it's with kids, with teachers, with colleagues,
like disarming. It endears people to you when you can, and not like, oh, I'm going to intentionally mess up so that I can have a moment of vulnerability.
Yeah. She's just a girl. Just let the girl up there and still accuse of her.
Yeah. But yeah, then inevitably something happens, technology doesn't work, or with kids or adults, or you make a mistake or whatever, just owning that, that's life. So what do we need to do? And
and it makes it okay for them too. Like you were saying.
Well, perhaps. I have a slight horror story.
Oh, no.
It's not even. Well,
we'll allow it.
Thank you. It's a story back in the day.
Tucson?
You know who I'm talking about. Red pen.
Oh, yeah.
Woo. There was this teacher I had. I was in high school. I don't think she made mistakes. I think maybe she'd be the first one to tell you. And
wow.
Yeah, pretty sure. And so her class is pretty rigid. And it was like, there was no tomfoolery or silly goosing in that class.
She didn't make mistakes on purpose.
No. And we were reading a book, and she someone read alighted. They alighted. And someone asked her, what does that mean? And she goes, oh, I think they lit up a cigarette. First of all. What? That is not what that meant. To alight, or they alighted, stepped down from.
Oh, of course.
Went
Of course I
down.
knew that.
Yes.
Of course.
I don't know where she got it lighting up a cigarette. Immediately, the class attacks her. That is not what that means. That means blah, 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 blah. But it was like, I think people were like, and then one person, I think, said it. And then she was like, I don't know. And then we built up. We got
Came
the
together.
mob mentality.
Yes, 100%.
And took over. But it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she made it. But she didn't own it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
She didn't say, she just like pretended that we weren't talking. So we just kind of moved on. But I was like, she doesn't know everything. That's crazy. But because in my mind, she hadn't made herself like.
Also, I know exactly
Judgmental.
who you're talking about, and she
well.
could sell any lie. So I am surprised that somebody had the bravery to attack. Yes, even if you know the confrontational piece of addressing somebody with that kind of authority and confidence is huge.
It was scary. I was scared.
Yeah. Their life.
But I knew I was right. I did not.
So it
say
was,
No,
it was Timiko that was like, no, you are wrong.
No, I wasn't me.
You were just in the horror of the moment. Like, I cannot believe
believe.
she doesn't know what this means.
And that someone's
And
calling
so-
her on it.
And that she gave us an explanation,
Yeah.
a wrong one. Like you fully confidently were like, yeah, they
We
live the
double
city.
down.
Double down. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I was like,
Yeah.
so since we're all perfect here,
I'm glad that came across.
I definitely got that energy from this group. Perfect in every way.
Yes.
So did you guys ever have to address negative, let's say, staff? Like someone pushing back on like, hey, this is what we're trying a new thing. We're doing this. Da, 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 da. I have heard tell, around the way, not here,
No.
not at this district,
No.
not in our house,
No.
other places.
Yes.
Maybe sometimes some veteran teachers have a hard time changing the way they do things or being asked to do a new thing. That was just something, or like, oh, that school site's a little difficult with that, like changing or doing it another way or introducing a new whatever procedure, process, curriculum. And it's like, interesting. How do you guys ever had to deal with something like that? And how did you, is there a fight? Love
Yeah. You sophisticuffs.
Fisticuffs.
Yeah.
God. Did you alight into them?
Oh.
I don't know who wants to go first, but
I
I,
don't
think
know.
everybody's experienced this to some degree,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think.
Was it you? Were you the leader?
Have I ever pushed back?
You were the pusher.
I have indeed.
She's a
pushed
pusher.
back. I have indeed pushed back. But
And she was right.
well, I am at this table, right? But no, I think honestly, pushback can be good for culture because it shows the passion that teachers have, right? So, but I think the reason for pushback often is because the directive or whatever is changing may not be clear. And I think that we don't like change, right? People don't like change. I think teachers especially get super attached to the way they do things and whatnot. But I think we need to know the why. Like if something's going to change, I want to know why. Why is it changing? there also is a tendency sometimes in education for new things to be introduced without other things going away. And so it's like, okay, well, we seem to keep adding a lot of things, so I think my new phrase that I love, and I've heard it multiple times, and it's not new at all, but I just keep saying, clear is kind. So clarity is so important. Don't you love that? Write it down. Clear is kind. Somebody said it, even Davin Alto said it today.
Oh, there's the last name, full government. And you're,
Sorry.
No, he didn't know he was going to make it to the podcast.
He did to the podcast. He said it. Shout out. And he is wonderful. But isn't he wonderful? Yeah. He's wonderful. But I think that's absolutely true, is like, you have to be able to explain to people clearly what or why something is happening, and then you're more likely to get buy-in, right? And so that's the part of leadership. You have to, and it goes back to the authenticity and the empathy and the anticipation of where the pushback might be and why, but the willingness to understand why that might be happening. Let's be honest, sometimes people are just idiots. I would like to think that I was not being an idiot when I resisted, but I didn't really clearly have an explanation of why, And so I think that would have made a difference. But to me, the why is always super important.
And I think when the pushbacks happen, is it because I think it is very easy to make the leap to either someone or this department is wanting to be lazy, or when really a lot of it is just a fear of change, a fear of like, well, I don't know how to do that thing that I'm being asked about. And it's not fair to ask people to change without giving the why, but also without helping and okay, so I'm going to give you these resources. I'm going to give you time to make those changes. But like, I think all of those are workable. The only time that I have come to a conversation and it was not really resolved or settled was because there was a fundamental difference of like what I believe about kids. And like, I can't change that. So that's the only time that I got really, I don't think I handled it the best, because I basically called her out and, but for the other people in that room, which again is probably not the best way to handle it. Not maybe the best situation. I was a CSP, so I'm supposed to be a support and a coach, and there was just a repetition of a belief that certain groups of students could not do a thing. And that wasn't okay. But it was very clear after that wasn't okay. And like, it's okay that you're scared about changing or using technology. I'm just going to like using technology or changing textbooks or whatever. Like, that's okay to have that kind of fear, but it's not okay to not think that this kid can't do a thing.
Right.
And to not even try.
I think that's it. Cause I've experienced both as an administrator of pushback because maybe there's a lack of like clarity or understanding. But that's usually more like an initiative or a program that you don't have all the information on. And then there's the deep beliefs that, exist in education, like retention is a big one that I had to really like advocate for and shift culture on. And people will tell you all the success cases with retention, but I think that's when you talk about, let's bring the research, like, you have to rely, we can all have warm feelings about lots of things, but at the end of the day, we have to like treat our profession in a way that you bring in the data. Even like when we talk about student discipline, and how we behave with certain kids, like you have to say, listen, this is what the data shows. We suspend these kids more or whatever that might be. And like, those are really hard when you have to push back on a system and say, like, we're not going to do this anymore, even though that's how we used to do it. So then there's the habit of we always did, but then a little bit of a belief. And that is a lot of work to kind of guide people through that. But there has to be like what Katie got to, like, okay, I'm drawing the line.
Yeah.
This is a line I'm not going to bend on. So.
Yeah.
very good. That was a good story. Sometimes we don't bend.
And that's okay.
And
That's okay.
sometimes we kick.
Sometimes we kick and knock people's blocks off. Am I right?
Only one of
Katie
us at
gets
this
it.
table think high enough for that. I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
Okay, so you were talking about the teacher that couldn't admit that she was wrong on a thing. But you mentioned her class was very rigid, her class. So I don't mind that. Like, I don't mind teachers' personalities coming out because I think that is authentic. Like, I've had great relationships both as teacher to teacher, but also being a student in a very rigid class where she still had warmth. Like the teacher still was able to make it, even if, because there's some like clicky pens or whatever. I was talking to a teacher yesterday that said she would have a struggle going back because of all the fidgets that are around. And even though she fundamentally knows that fidget is helping this student pay attention, it would distract the heck out of her as a teacher and just trying to find a balance of meeting everyone where they're at. But I would rather a teacher feel comfortable to be themselves as long as some of those guarantees are there, like the beliefs about kids and all of that. But like if one is more strict and one is less, not to the point where, people are having completely different situations or completely different experiences in different classrooms. But like, still be yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and I know. I think a rigid teacher can be passionate about a subject. And I think that happens a lot at the secondary level. Secondary teachers are quirky. We love, and we say, I mean, I hear it all. I've heard it all the time that secondary teachers love their content more than they love kids.
well, let me just say this, if I may,
Please.
because interrupting Queen.
I thought it was your podcast.
It is yours. You can go.
Interrupt on your own podcast.
Yeah.
So that class, I loved that class, actually. The content was great, everything. And she was a good teacher. It was just funny. Like, again, that's just her. It was just her. But just to add a little more context, because, hey, I love to build the story. More detail. It's just for, a little more context. 9/11 happened. Not in her class.
Oh,
We read Shakespeare that day. No one talked about it. Did not watch it on the news.
okay. Well,
It didn't happen.
I guess if
I was just like, wow. But I mean, I guess in her mind, which I mean, I get, it makes sense. In her mind, she was like, no, we're going to keep this day as normal as possible because this is a crazy
yeah.
So I can see that. And it wasn't that she was like a horrible, nothing. It's just, no, we're still going to continue on. And I was like,
Some sense of normal.
But I think we're so much more aware now about SEL needs than we were maybe, right? Because then now we would say,
the audience.
oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Please,
No.
please elaborate. What should I do?
No. You can tell me what that abbreviation means. SEL.
Like social emotional
Yes.
needs,
Yeah.
social emotional learning. But I would think now we would say, and that's why we probably now think about like rigid teachers or not in terms of like what is best for the kids and the different kid personalities in the classroom. But at the time, right, she was trying to do what was best or what she thought was best.
think, 100% in her mind, she was like, this is the best thing to do today. Even though the world's ending. We're going to act.
Yeah.
Shakespeare still needs to be read. Iambic pentameter.
Very important.
Horatio. No, is that?
No, yeah.
Am I saying the right?
Close.
Yeah.
You're good.
Shakespeare. Also, anybody else? Hamlet.
Yeah, Hamlet, you were bad.
Hamlet. Feel free to shout out any other
Macbeth.
I think. Macbeth. But yeah, it was looking back, I was like, that was an interesting
Choice.
choice.
But now we would
But it's
think,
fine. It was fine. It
well,
was
but
okay,
at the time, people don't have devices. They're not texting each other in class. They're like this awareness. But now we would say something like huge that way, your kids are going to respond to it very differently. Some kids will want the structure because don't deviate from that. Other kids might get very emotional. Like now we're much more aware of like, not just the learning piece, but the emotional.
And I was thinking, about that, like comparatively. So a couple years ago, at one of our sites, we lost a student, an elementary student. And so a lot of district staff was called to that school site to help support the teachers who maybe needed to be out of the class. And it was very much that there were some people who were like, I'm full systems ahead, go. And I think it was as much for the, like, for the teacher to kind of get through the day as for the students. It was almost as if we keep going, we can find safety in the normalcy maybe. Whereas others were, so everybody handled it differently. And it was very evident that the culture in the classrooms is very different, but it tended to work, right? There were kids who were outside talking to adults. There were, one of the classes that I was in that I went in to cover, so it introduces a different piece too when a stranger, because we were strangers, went into the classroom, so that the teacher could be out for a bit. I don't have a personal, it's very evident, right? No personal relationship with the kids. I'm just here as like I'm just here to watch the kids. And it was one of our colleagues who was like, you know what? We're going to play a game. And they were delighted, even though grieving, to get in and do something to kind of break that tension. And you know what I mean? Whereas I think there were some teachers who refused to leave their classrooms because in their grief, there was no place they wanted to be but with their kids. And so I think there is like that too, like it's that willingness to be so human. So thinking about your teacher and that other teacher that just kind of went like empowering through. Maybe they're so afraid of their own grief and not willing to share that with their kids that like, this is the only way I can power through. You know what I mean? So it's like your own kind of,
I think we've evolved.
Management.
Yeah, I think we've evolved as people, the world, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Of being more aware.
Yeah.
Of people's emotions and feelings and needs. And that we're different and everybody handles things differently. And just, I remember, which is a little off topic, but I've never done that before.
Never. No.
But so something that has stuck with me is I remember when I gave birth to Brooklyn and then I had to leave her there. And go about life like normal. And I remember it was the first time we had left the hospital because I stayed until the admin administration came and asked me. No, they were like, we need the room. I was like crying the whole way getting ready because she was in the NICU. She had to stay there for a week. And I was only there for, I think it was like 3 days. So we got ready and then she was in the NICU and we needed to go eat. So we went to a restaurant and ate. And I thought, oh my God, there's like people, because after you have a child, like it just is nuts. Honestly, it's crazy the way your perspective on life and everything changes. And it's instantly. And like no one can see that I'm just walking around with my heart broken because I don't know what, like, I just wanted to be with her, but I needed to go take care of myself, me and my husband. Like, we need to go eat something. So, and he's like, we need to get out of the hospital. Like, we've been stuck in a room for 3 days. Like, come on. I was like, no, you're right. So then I'm sitting there in a restaurant and you can't tell anything's wrong, but like, I had this like epiphany of like, oh, well, there's like just tons of people walking around with stuff, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And awful stuff. And that we don't know about. And they're just sitting in it and going about their day. And so like for kids now, that changed my perspective. When I interact with people every day, work, not so much at home. I'm a little behind there, but when you interact with people at work, at whatever, outside and the store, I've found that I have changed a lot in that, because it was like, you don't know what people are holding on to, or not holding on to, but carrying around with them. And especially these kiddos that come in, like, you just don't know. You don't know. And so I think it's a great shift to make, to not just, okay, you need to just learn, suck it up, let's go. We need to get this done, and bringing in the human aspect. And I think that's what, creates your culture, creates your relationships, is like, you are human, I'm human, and we're all going through things. We have to get this job done, obviously. Like, you need to learn this. You need to learn to spell your name. But they also need to learn I want my kids to learn how to be a decent human being, how to treat others kindly, how to be just like, not a scumbag.
Right. Yeah.
But, that for me was a turning point. And I think it's a good thing that it's not just so rigid, and we're like, school isn't just a place of robots. We're just robots in, robots out, but we bring the human part of it and try and meet the needs of the kids and the staff and the however is there.
Yeah.
But
Can I say something? Because to me, what's so interesting? Yeah,
absolutely.
interesting. Okay, so when you were saying you're sitting there and you're watching all these people, right? I'm thinking, like, in your mind, you're like, how can these people just go about their business? How can they do when, like, for me, the world has stopped, right? But then you didn't have that mindset. You had the mindset of, if it's happening to me, I'm now realizing this could be out there with other people.
Right.
And I think that goes back to, like, what we talked about, looking at the people in front of you and their needs versus focusing on yours. Because in that moment, it should have been about, right? Like, I'm thinking, if I'm going through something,
you get to be, it's all about me. Look at me.
Yeah, I thought that's where your story was going when you were saying, like, here I am, and don't they know what I'm going through?
Yeah.
But that right there goes to, like, some of the people maybe we've interacted with, that's the mindset that they would have had.
Yeah.
And it's about them. And
in everybody's story, they're the main character in everybody's story. You get to be the main character in your own story, but you don't get to be.
Yeah.
oh, say that again.
You
For
do
the
some
people in the back. In the back seat.
Let's will it in.
Yeah. But I think that's key. You're right. But that's good. That means you got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Well, I was going to say that is my question. So if somebody's listening, do they feel that I have it, and how do I know I have it? Or what do I need to think about? Because are you good for culture? Do you improve the culture and the places you are? Because there are places that I feel that I do benefit culture, and then there are times I don't. I think our admin PLC probably not. That's not my best moment. I probably don't behave the way I would want people to behave, right? Like my teachers. But for me, sometimes I'm like, I think people are just trying to get through content, and I don't necessarily feel comfortable sometimes asking questions. So I know that about myself, right? So I think people have to be like, how am I? How do I behave? And how do I know how am I with culture? And do I value it? Because I wonder sometimes when people are not good for a culture, do they value it? Or maybe they don't value it and they feel like other things are more important.
I think, like, okay, just the self-awareness alone is a lot of the battle for me. Because I think a lot of people operate under this false sense of self a lot. Like, I don't know if they just are so unaware of how they are moving about this
How
world.
they're coming across. Right?
Yeah.
The opposite of imposter syndrome. They're not absolutely the best.
Well, and because, like, I'm a total overthinker. I'm insecure in a lot of ways. I have imposter syndrome in, like, every situation.
I don't.
So when you're talking about PD and the questions, I'm always like, well, I want to know those different questions so that I know the answers, so that, like, but it comes from like a place of insecurity sometimes. And then in other situations, I'm like, no, I am definitely the smartest person.
No, I feel like I should pass to the admin team.
Yeah.
I mean,
Katie is often
times more.
smartest person in
Everybody's
the
just
room.
writing notes.
And so maybe she is like, you wouldn't know if she was lying because she comes across very
she's
polished.
like,
But I can vouch for
Smoking
the
a
fact
cig.
that she knows almost everything.
Yeah.
Almost everything.
And I can also, if I may, attest to you saying that almost every day.
well, Katie does that.
And I have said, nothing. Yes, you were like my sister. There is nothing in this district I don't think that you don't touch at some point. And in a personal crisis, she is the first one I call.
Wait. That one time she did show up, but didn't tell them she was there for backup on the radio when we had the emergency that you went to the school. But they
she did. I made that detour to go, and then I was like, they've got it. They've got it.
But I think too, the thing about you, Katie, is because Katie and I have been in a lot of awkward situations together. I remember one on the spelling bee stage, there was a kid who was freaking out, and I'm like, Katie's a spell master, and I'm in the middle of the stage, and we're both like, I don't know what to do. I mean, everybody is like the middle of the spelling bee. And I remember thinking in the moment, I don't know what's going to happen, but there's nobody on the stage. And it was fine. We got through it. It was fine. The kid was fine. But part of it is that even if she didn't announce that she was there, she went there. You know what I mean? Like you show up and you try to help and you genuinely, contribute. And so I think that's a very good point about culture is like who is a contributor to culture and who is a culture leech.
Culture sucker.
Yes.
they suck the energy.
The literal life out of you. It's unawareness, though. I do believe it's completely. What's the opposite of self-aware?
Oblivious.
Delusional.
Yeah.
Oh, you can get there.
Well, it's like setting
a word
up,
we use a
okay,
lot.
there's a parent event. Are you going to be like, maybe it's not your event, but are you helping set up? I'm going to help them set up because then it looks good but it's just, you get in there and help and there's not like these layers of a hierarchy or thinking that you're better or I don't know, just some of the, yeah.
So how can someone know if they suck?
Yes, please say it's.
No, how do you know if you bring life to culture? Like, do you bring something positive to the culture or do you take from the culture? How do you know? Because I think you're right. It's 100% self-awareness because I may or may not know someone that I hear the stories and I'm like, do you not hear that in every story you made, right?
Yeah.
So then how do they get to that point of realization?
Therapy?
Oh,
No, I don't know. But I think like a sense of,
Do we bring it directly to their attention?
I'm going to go back to clear. Sarah is kind. I will say clear is kind. And I think one of the quickest ways to kill a culture at a school site is to punish everybody for what one or two people consistently do wrong, right?
Amen to
so
that.
address the person who is the problem. Are we pointing or are we high-fiving?
I think you were going to I'm not sure what just happened.
Okay, both. All right, there was a high five.
yes, because there was a distinct principle and she was wonderful in lots of ways. But if a thing happened, she would send out a mass email that said, we need to do X, Y, and Z. Well, the person who wasn't already doing that is not reading the email. It's gone way over their head. But every other very conscientious person that already does that is now freaking out about the one time that they may not have done it, or did I do it last time? Or and so as opposed to
Having so much chaos and like anxiety.
just have the conversation with the people that need it. Now, do I do that? No, not all the time. I'm very confident.
It's hard. It's a hard conversation.
When I've needed to, I've been like, listen.
I used to say, look, this is going to be a hard conversation. There's going to be some things that are going to be
feel
hard
like you've
to
had
hear.
to do that.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've had to maybe do that with me. Listen.
But that's
Have you heard of
also
hairspray?
that's authentic and that's genuine.
Yes.
And it's like assuming the best intentions of the other person too, that they want to
that right
do a better job.
Assuming the best intentions.
And it's being
That's so
supportive,
hard.
right?
Yeah.
Like I think there is a time at which that might be difficult, but initially, like if you want somebody to get better and you think they can, then having those honest conversations and seeing what they do with those honest conversations can be truly beneficial.
Oh,
I think in education, I think in the world in general, we avoid those difficult conversations.
No, we're solving
education.
the world's problems
Because it's true in life too, right? It's true in life.
Yeah.
Like we don't like to have the awkward conversations with people who are friends and they are, difficult sometimes. And so we let it go, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. It builds, right?
Yeah.
And so we don't want that to happen. So part of a good culture is the ability to have difficult conversations, but knowing best intentions on both sides, right?
There's trust. There's trust there. So it's like, even if it's, that's how I try to, with my friends, right? And I've said this, I'm very careful with my relationships and my friendships. I've had them for many a year.
She brags about it.
Listen,
Because some of us don't have many.
Yeah.
not many, but many years.
Oh no, you have both.
Oh, well, sometimes sometimes God has favorites. But so for me, I look at people and I'm like, what do you mean? You don't, there's not that person that's going to tell you.
I know.
What
What
do you mean? Because I have been told things that are not necessarily not nice, but so for example, because I always have one.
It helps the people.
It helps the people. This is one of the people. I was getting
This is gonna be a fun one.
Be authentic. Speak your truth.
I decided to get my wedding dress made, and I went and bought the material.
Okay.
Have I ever made a wedding dress?
Oh, whoa. You decided you were going to.
No.
Okay.
Let me start over.
Oh, this.
I was going to have someone make a wedding dress.
Okay.
For me. I went and got the material because I know what I'm doing.
Not at all.
No. 80s, here we mentioned 84. I said, oh, why not? Dress like our birth year. Because
Well, you really like that birth year.
I guess. Anyway, I go to a fitting. My best friend and my mom come. Listen. It was the mariachi meets, who is the guy with the bull?
Oh, I was thinking the matador.
The girl with matador. It was a matador type of look with the mariachi, with white. There was some sparkles. I don't know. There were pieces, and it's hard. I know it's hard to not see me as a model. Model body.
Yeah.
I did not have a model body at that time. Oh, nor do I have it now. But so I'm going to go ahead and take that one on the chin. That was my bad. That if you are not a 00, maybe you need a corset.
But maybe not that silhouette.
Boning. Tight.
Yeah.
Lines. That dress did not have that. That person did not make wedding dresses. They made clothes, beautiful clothes, but wedding dresses were not their specialty, which now I know is you need to go to someone that does that. Okay, so hey, lessons learned. But anyway, I was like, I don't care. I'm getting married literally in 2 weeks.
Oh.
This is when I don't care if I'm wearing a potato sack down the aisle. I am marrying this man. And so
Tune in next week for a potato on husband.
Again.
For sure.
So then I get to my house. My best friend is waiting for me at the door. And she's like, I opened the door and she goes, "You cannot wear that dress. You look crazy." And I was like, I don't know what else to do. I need to wear a dress. And she's like, "You can't wear that one."
That's a
And
good friend.
That's a good friend. And so it was like, okay. So I went and I bought a wedding dress, and I'm so glad I did. But again, it's not coming from a like, "Oh my God, she thinks you're ugly."
Yeah.
Right.
Ever. Or
She's always
has
been jealous.
She's always
of
been
me.
me.
She
Yeah.
can't have.
Never.
She
She
has
was
your
like,
best
"I
interest."
am not letting you walk
Yeah.
down the aisle on your wedding day looking like that. You need to look beautiful."
Yeah.
And this is not.
You
serving
trusted her that she was doing
100%.
it for you.
I know your motives. I know your intentions.
That's
And the
it right
data
there.
is there from all the years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good there. I
Data.
love it.
Oh.
The data. The data will tell. Anyway, well, I think that is a perfect place to end because it was about me at the end.
Yes.
As it should be.
So I just want to say thank you again. This has been lovely.
Well, thank you. It was an honor.
So fun.
Until next time.
Yes, next time.